There is a story beneath every law we know today, a story older than the Constitution, older than the Magna Carta, older than the first written code, chiseled into stone. It is the story of natural law, the idea that justice is not invented, that rights are not granted, and that human dignity is not negotiable. In this series, we will travel from the ancient world to the American founding, from Aristotle to Aquinas, from the Roman Forum to Independence Hall, from the first principles of human nature to the modern courtroom. We will explore what natural law is, where it came from, how it shaped Western civilization, why the founders relied on it, how it protects the individual, and why it still matters today. We will uncover the original meanings preserved in early legal dictionaries, including Black's Law Dictionary, and we will examine the biblical, philosophical, and historical foundations that built the world we live in. This is not just a history lesson. It's a rediscovery of the principles that make liberty possible. Welcome to natural law, the law before all laws. What is natural law? Before there were governments, there were people. Before there were kings, there were families. Before there were courts, there were communities. And before there were written laws, there was something deeper, a sense of right and wrong that every human instinctively recognized. Imagine a world with no police, no judges, no legislature, a world where the only guide you have is your conscience. Even in that world, you would know that stealing is wrong. You would know that harming the innocent is wrong. You would know that keeping your word is right. Where does that knowledge come from? It doesn't come from government. It doesn't come from a textbook. It doesn't come from a vote. It comes from natural law, the law written not on paper, but on the human heart. This episode is the beginning of our journey to rediscover that law, what natural law is. Natural law is the idea that morality is built into the nature of reality. It's not created by governments. It's not granted by rulers. It's not invented by cultures. It is discovered, not made. To anchor this in original meaning, we turn to Black's Law Dictionary, first edition, 1891. The closest legal dictionary to the founders' era. Black's defines natural law as, quote, the rule and dictate of right reason, the law which God and nature have established, end quote. This definition tells us three things. First, natural law is rational. It can be known by reason. Second, natural law is moral. It concerns right and wrong. And third, natural law is universal. It applies to all people, everywhere. Think of a child who sees someone being bullied. No one has to teach that child that something is wrong. They feel it. They know it. That instinct, that immediate recognition of injustice, is natural law speaking. Natural law is not a modern idea. Its roots stretch back more than 2,000 years. Aristotle believed everything in nature has a purpose. A seed is meant to become a tree. A bird is meant to fly. A human being is meant to reason, to choose, to seek the good. When we act according to reason and virtue, we flourish. When we act against them, we wither. Cicero, the Roman statesman, wrote one of the clearest early definitions of natural law. Quote, true law is right reason in agreement with nature, eternal and unchanging. End quote. Imagine standing in the Roman Forum, surrounded by marble columns and the noise of the ancient city. Cicero is arguing that even the emperor, the most powerful man in the world, is not above the moral law. This was revolutionary. The Bible does not use the phrase natural law, but the concept is everywhere. Scripture teaches that humans are made in the image of God. Justice is objective. Truth is binding. Rulers are accountable. And the moral law is written on the heart. Paul writes in Romans 2 that even those without the written law, quote, show the work of the law written in their hearts, end quote. Think of two people from opposite sides of the world who have never met, never shared a culture, never read the same book, yet both know that murder is wrong. Both know that lying destroys trust. Both know that justice matters. This universal moral instinct is exactly what Scripture describes. In the 1200s, Thomas Aquinas took the scattered threads of natural law and wove them into a complete system. Aquinas taught, God is the author of all law. Natural law is part of God's eternal law. Humans discover natural law through reason. A law that contradicts natural law is unjust. His most famous line echoes through history, quote, "An unjust law is no law at all," end quote. Imagine a medieval monk in a quiet stone library, writing by candlelight. He is building the intellectual foundation that will one day inspire revolutions, constitutions, and movements for human rights. Aquinas didn't just influence theology, he influenced the entire Western legal tradition. When the American founders declared independence, they did not appeal to Parliament. They did not appeal to the king. They did not appeal to tradition. They appealed to natural law. The Declaration begins with the phrase, quote, "the laws of nature and of nature's God," end quote. This was not poetic language. It was a legal argument. They were saying, our rights do not come from you. They come from the Creator. And because they come from the Creator, no government may take them away. Picture Jefferson at his writing desk, scratching out the first draft of the Declaration. He pauses, dips his quill, and writes the words, self-evident. Not granted, not bestowed, self-evident. This is natural law. Natural law is not a relic. It's not a philosophy locked in the past. It's the foundation of human rights, due process, equality before the law, the presumption of innocence, limits on government power, and the dignity of the individual. Imagine a courtroom. A jury sits quietly listening to the evidence. They're not just applying statutes. They're applying conscience. They are applying reason. They are applying natural law. Whenever someone says this law is unjust, they are appealing, knowingly or not, to natural law. Whenever a citizen stands up to power, whenever a jury refuses to convict an innocent person, whenever a community demands fairness, natural law is at work. It's the quiet backbone of Western civilization. Governments rise and fall. Empires come and go. Laws are written, revised, and forgotten. But natural law remains, and it's the law that does not change, the law that does not bend, the law that does not depend on the approval of rulers. It's the law that belongs to every human being, the law that protects the weak, restrains the powerful, and reminds us that justice is not just a human invention. This is natural law, and it's only the beginning.